behalf of the other workers, I'll be presenting the topic is real-time localization. So actually this is one of the recent projects that we started in Localization Research Center. And in this research we will introduce a new software localization paradigm that is especially useful for companies delivering software to smaller or impoverished locations. Actually, these companies also face the large localization cost as the other companies as well, and some organizations that work to with the digital divide also encounter large localization costs. So in this research, we try to find an approach that decreases the localization cost for these locales. And there is this famous essay written by Eric Raymond on software engineering method called Cathedral and the Bazaar model. And he explains two ways to develop the software based on his experience on managing open source localization projects. And he explains there is a model called Cathedral model and the other one is called the Bazaar model. So let's first have a look at the Cathedral model. In the Cathedral model, the software development process is well organized and it's centrally owned and managed. Usually there is an exclusive group of full-time developers working on a project in a controlled environment. And actually this is the conventional corporate software development approach. And if you look at the Bazaar model, the software development process is loosely organized and consists of volunteer developers from all around the world working together via internet. So we have distributed community of core developers in the Bazaar model connected to the internet and they are working together. And in his essay, Eric Raymond mentioned given enough eyeballs, all the bugs are shown, and that means actually if there are some errors in your source code, so the programs, a lot of people all around the world can join together to solve them. So that's some advantage of Bazaar model. So we will see how successful is this Bazaar model. So if you might have familiar about this software, Linux and OpenOffice, Firefox, Apache. All these software results of Bazaar model. So we know that it's really successful. So how about the localization? So traditional localization is in a way similar to Cathedral model. Why is that? Because well-organized, experienced translators working in a controlled environment usually managed by a central authority. That's how the traditional localization happens. Right? And obviously it involves large localization cost and some large coordination effort as well. And we know the Bazaar model is very successful. So is there a way we can use the Bazaar model for software localization? And we know that it's a community-driven process. Bazaar model is community-driven, so the cost is very low. So in this research actually we try to apply the Bazaar model to software localization process. Okay. So nowadays this kind of approach is better known as crowdsourcing. You might have heard this word several times in this conference. So what does crowdsourcing mean? It means delegating a task to a large devious group, usually without monetary compensation. our research, what we try to do is, we try to apply this crowdsourcing model for the translation of software. Okay. And so in this model, individual users of the system translate elements of the system and its documentation as they use the system. Okay. So let me emphasize, the users of the software translate both elements and the documentation as they use the system. So that's why it's called real-time localization. So in return, what these users will get, they will get access to the localized software itself. Suppose we have an application like this, and this is the user community. So in this scenario, what actually happens is these users will start localizing this application. So in our architecture, actually we try to coordinate this translation process by deploying a server. So the translations will be gathered to a server, and then they will be analyzed and processed, and then they will be pushed back to the servers, to the clients actually. Actually these, again, these users can be translators too in this environment. So consider a software like OpenOffice, and the OpenOffice software has been developed especially targeting an English audience, right? But still it has developed in a manner so that it can be localized into other languages as well, easily localized. But unfortunately it has around millions of strings, so you will need the effort of large volunteers to do it, or the other approach is you have to spend a lot of money to do it, right? And one alternative would be to use the machine translation to do it. You use the machine translation and then translate the software to other languages. But unfortunately, machine translation hasn't reached up to that standard where we can confidently release the software. So it's not going to be successful. So let me imagine a situation like this. What if the users can translate the software as they use them? I'm sure you might have seen this application. It's somewhat similar to Office, Microsoft Office. It's Microsoft Word actually. So what if you can just right click on this element, so it will bring a pop-up dialog. You can enter your translation, and here we go. Okay, let me do this couple of more strings. You right click on this word and then enter your translation, and it will update the user interface real time. Okay. So I have translated 3 strings of this application real time. So what if the other users of this system also to do the same, and they also contribute to translate this software? So finally you will get something like this, right? So actually some of the web applications or web services powered by Web 2 concept